They were two stars thrown together by the cosmos to compete.
Like in secrecy, contain within the most precious of things, one light, one dark, reflections of the self, broken now, except within one's consciousness. The arcane task, to build them up once more, within the confines of the human soul, to stride inside the portal of the ancients, and grasp eternity and its creations. Mother Goddess, mistress of the dream realm, beckon me forth to walk between your legs, but do not crush me as I make my final journey back inside the womb of infinity. Please, great architect of the universe, bestow on me your compass made of gold. Hold me steady as I draw my own circle of life and death and rebirth of my soul.
Magic and Bird still did reignite the league with their rivalry. But is it so simple that we boil it down to just hard-fought and honest competition? Data Productions has always felt that the National Basketball Association wrote better scripts than Hollywood. What if, to save the league and finally capture a large audience for decades to come, the National Basketball Association incorporated powerful and biblical stories in their viewing product to captivate the viewer more and have them emotionally invested? Most of us already know that sports are rigged and scripted, but why do they still hold so much power over the population? What's so magical about the NBA? I believe it to be the fact that the controllers of the NBA script know how to manipulate the game in a way that tells a subconsciously compelling story that we all can relate to on a higher spiritual level. What made this rivalry so intricate and powerful was that Johnson represented black magic in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, the movie capital of the world, while Larry represented the great horned owl. The decade-long storyline between the two was the athletic theatrical manifestation of the white man, Larry Bird, wrestling with black Magic Johnson to create an esoterically pleasing spectacle. So the very first successful storyline in the NBA was an autobiography of the ones who created this entertainment to begin with. Then when scaling back and simplifying the storyline being told with Magic and Larry, it will bring you to the story of Boaz and Jacqueline, the story of light and darkness, duality, polarity, the cycle of energy. This NBA matchup was teaching the masses the basic principles of life via athletic theater. Being that Irvin Magic Johnson and Larry Joe Bird was perfectly scripted to a T to get the best energetic result for viewership.
And knowing you was on the West Coast, I was on the East Coast, I was just dreaming about another chance maybe I get to play against you.
Yeah, well, you know what? The NCAA finals created this rivalry that now fans could carry over to the NBA. And then we were able to meet a couple times in the final.
But only one of them had been groomed for the spotlight. His talent was so great that soon after his varsity debut, a local reporter, dazzled by his exploits, gave the budding star a nickname.
It fits my game. Hanging out with my boys on the street corners, we used to sing Temptation songs. They started saying, "Hey man, Magic, that's cool." And then people on the street started saying, "Hey Magic." And I said,
He bought into it, and I think he felt he had to kind of live up to that name. And I must say that he did.
It said, "It's magic."
He was a star when he first arrived here, coming off the NC2A game. And quickly, during that first season, he became one of the stars in town. But that game put him on another level. That made him the star in town.
He had what it is. As far as I was concerned, the it was not his ability or his size. The it was his attitude, was his leadership, was his mind.
Magic Johnson was living on a natural high. He was starring in the role of a lifetime, point guard of a Hollywood team with an offense called Showtime.
I mean, Magic was his stage name. Even he would laugh about it.
Well, he always says there's two people. There's Irvin Johnson from East Lansing, and there's Magic Johnson from Hollywood.
I really do believe he looks upon Magic Johnson as a movie character he played. I think Irvin got overwhelmed in LA by what it meant to be a star.
But such curtness was hardly strange coming from Larry Bird, who was not only one of college basketball's best players, but also its biggest enigma.
I think he was a mystery to the extent that he wanted to be a mystery. He didn't enjoy doing interviews. He didn't go out of his way to do them. He wasn't particularly good at them. He was kind of like, hey, this is who I am. You want to know who I am? Watch the game. That's who I am.
I start to read materials that you're very quiet and you don't enjoy talking to newspaper people.
Well, you know, there's different kind of newspaper people. There's people that try to push you. You know, there's people try to get things out of you. Things don't even pertain to basketball, and them are the type of people I like to stay away from.
He didn't want people talking about his family. He didn't want his mother to have to deal with that or his siblings to have to deal with that.
The National Basketball Association, in its 33rd season, is troubled by diminishing crowds and declining television ratings, signs that fan interest may be waning.
If college basketball was flourishing at the end of the 1970s, the pro game was crumbling.
I think Magic wanted to be friends with Larry Bird. He wanted to be friends with him on the World Invitational Tournament, and Larry just wasn't very receptive. I think he wanted to be friends with him during the Final Four. Larry wouldn't even go over and shake his hand. So now Magic's saying, well, what's with this guy? Everybody loves me. How come you don't love me? And then they get to their rookie year, the first time they play each other. Well, they have a very hard foul. And they have to be separated a little bit. And Magic's like, all right, well, the heck with this guy. You don't like me? Fine. All right, good. I don't like you either.
You know, he's a very competitive player, and I'm a very competitive player, and we go head-to-head, and we go for blood almost.
Their competitive dislike emerged from a greater truth, that on the court, they were doppelgangers. Team-oriented stars who cared about winning above all else. Basketball savants who fused the substance of the 60s with the style of the 70s to create a new and exciting yet selfless way to play the game in the 1980s.
They were so similar in the way they competed.
The NBA and CBS signed a new TV deal before the 82-83 season. Sell more Bird and Magic, and sell them not just as ball players, but as arch-rival characters in their own dramatic saga. A pair of athletes thrown together by the cosmos to compete. A pair of men who discovered a bond in the midst of that competition. Decades removed from the height of their rivalry, their bond endures. Two impossibly different men with a connection only they can fully grasp.
New guy on the team, and he doesn't like the Celtics, you know? He has the Lakers on purple and gold, and the other guy has the green on, and it just goes on and on.
Saves it from Magic Johnson, and a brilliant play by James Bird.
Most all the banners hang for you, Boston Garden, and the rest of them hang from the forums. I think the last thing is Larry and I. That's it.
Tonight, Larry and Magic do it one more time.